Hello everybody, it is a beautiful sunny autumnal Sunday morning here in Honstein-Ernstthal near Chemnitz in Saxony. We're getting ready for race 2 of 3 this weekend here at the Sachenring for the Porsche Carrera Cup. Yesterday we saw a race where Larry Tenvoorde led from pole position, disappeared off into the distance. But a wrong setup on the car, the tyres succumbing to the pressure that they were under as the race progressed, and Larry Tenvoorde eventually dropped back into the grips of Dylan Pereira. And it was Dylan Pereira who went on to take his first ever win in the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. Larry Tenvoorde, that man there, continued through and finished in second place. He was under a lot of pressure by Leon Kohler at the very end of the race, but he held him off and took that second step on the podium. But Larry Tenvoorde still leads the Porsche Carrera Cup Championship. We're on race 2 of 11. In fact, we're about to start race 3, so we've had 2 races of the 11 this season. Larry Tenvoorde leads the championship by 45 points with Leon Kohler in second, just 9 points behind with 36 points. And Dylan Pereira, courtesy of that win yesterday, jumps up into third place in the championship, and he's just 11 points behind Larry Tenvoorde. Larry Tenvoorde, who celebrated his 24th birthday on Friday, is looking to undo some of the damage that was done yesterday with Dylan Pereira closing up, and he's in the best position to do it as Larry Tenvoorde starts on pole position. In fact, the 1, 2, 3 on the grid are identical to the 1, 2, 3 that started yesterday, and that's with Larry Tenvoorde on pole position, Leon Kohler alongside, and Dylan Pereira third on the grid. So it's very much a repeat of yesterday, but this time Larry Tenvoorde will be thinking more about preserving those tyres and trying to hold off Dylan Pereira. As you can see, the cars have started on their formation lap, and it's a lap that is 3.671 kilometres around. That equates to about 2.281 miles. This track has 14 turns, 4 of them are to the right and 10 to the left. The track has a lot of undulation, very little of it is actually flat. And at the steepest point, 12.8% is the drop. The unusual thing about this track is that the cars are running anti-clockwise. You can see a grid there, Larry Tenvoorde and Leon Kohler, Dylan Pereira and Lauren Heinrich doing very well on the second row. Diego Bertinelli and Julian Hansis with Tony Wolff and Rudy Van Buren on row 4. Row 5, Lucas Ertel and Joey Mawson, and row 6, Kay Van Berlo with Carlos Rivas leading the Pro-Am category. Felix Neuhofer on row 7 alongside Matthias Jeserik, with Stefan Rakoff and Georgi Donchev bringing up the rear. A few less cars than we would normally expect in the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany, mainly as a result of the global situation that we currently find ourselves in. But still plenty of cars to go racing. It is race 3 of the 11 race season. This was an event that was due to be the season closer, but because of the pandemic situation, it is in fact the first solar state that this classification has had. If you remember the first round, they were sharing with Porsche Carrera Cup France at the very prestigious Le Mans circuit. That was back in the middle of September. And then race 2 yesterday, and then 2 races today. We've got this one, and then another one, which will be later on this afternoon. So as you can see, coming up the hill towards turn 14, and that's presenting a very good overtaking opportunity on this circuit. If the driver can get on the outside going into 14 and can pull alongside along the pit straight. We've seen many moves completed then going into turn 1, which is a right-hander, and if the driver can exit turn 14 on the outside, that gives them the benefit for the line into the first corner. We'll keep an eye on that as the race progresses. As you can see, the grid is almost formed, and just in the background there you saw Tony Wolff, who flat spotted a front left tyre yesterday and had to retire to the pits. And he'll be looking to do a bit better than that as he starts from P7 on the grid this morning. So you can see the green flag waving at the back to indicate that all is well. The 6 red lights are on, the 6 red lights are off, and we are racing. Larry Tenvoorde immediately moving across to cut off the Leon Kohler car, you saw another car going through a billboard further back. You saw a bit of polystyrene scattering, but it looks like everybody has survived. Larry Tenforder cutting off Leon Kohler. Dylan Pereira, not the best of starts. He's dropped back to about 5th place as Larry Tenforder leads the way. Leon Kohler almost pushing him round the Castle Omega turn, and the first two just breaking away already from Diego Bertinelli in P3. So the rest of the cars come through. Didn't see who that was who went through the billboard at the start. It was very spectacular. Didn't appear to do too much damage, but the cars have all made it off the line, and around we go to complete the first lap. Ahead of us, 30 minutes of Porsche Carrera Cup racing here at the Sachsenring in Germany. So Larry Tenforder leading the way with Leon Kohler just behind. Dylan Pereira has dropped back to 5th place. It's Diego Bertinelli in P3, and he is coming under all sorts of attack as well. You can see Dylan Pereira there. And down the long straight that is the waterfall, a very famous bit of track as Diego Bertinelli gets a bit of a swapper on. It's Julian Hanses who's behind him and looking to challenge, but Bertinelli holding it together. And we complete lap number 1 here at Sachsenring, and Bertinelli now under pressure as Dylan Pereira comes through and takes both of the cars. That's Lauren Heinrich and also Diego Bertinelli, and Dylan Pereira through into P3, so making up for that very poor start that he had as we round the Castle Omega turn once again. Question is, can he reel in these leaders? That's exactly what he did yesterday, because initially Larry Tenforder opened up a very big gap by his own admission. The car was not set up well and it cooked the tyres far too early, and tyre wear really is an issue in the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany, and preserving the tyres for the full duration of the half hour is very, very critical. Cars also being watched closely by the race stewards. Track limits have often been an issue here, and the cars are all fitted with a V-Box onboard camera system. This will help the stewards to monitor any drivers that are going off track limits. So that's something that will be very, very key as Diego Bertinelli moves to the inside of Lauren Heinrich and through into that position. And Dylan Pereira is up ahead of them. Julian Hanses in the identical car, also scrapping alongside the number 26 car of Lauren Heinrich. They race side by side along the pit straight. It's Diego Bertinelli just ahead of them and into turn 1. So Bertinelli in P4, and you can see goes 3 abreast into turn 1. That was never going to work. The number 26 car goes spinning. Lauren Heinrich, and if he is beached there, and it looks like he is, this is going to bring out a safety car. So Lauren Heinrich, very much the victim of going 3 abreast. The car is turned around, and I'm expecting to see a safety car very, very soon, because that car is stranded in a very vulnerable position. And here it comes. The safety car is running, and it has been declared. So the field will be brought back to a slow pace. And Lauren Heinrich's morning has already come to a stop just 3.5 minutes into this race. And you can see him beached there in the gravel trap. And once you're in there and you're stationary, you're not going any further. So the safety car is out. The cars will be brought back to a slower speed, single file behind the safety car. And of course, there will be no overtaking. It's Larry Tenforder who leads the way from Leon Kohler. Dylan Pereira, who started to make up a little bit of that poor start he had. We're looking again, and you can see the number 26 car does try to cut in on the Julian Hanses car, and tries to take a tighter line into the corner, and at exactly the same time, it's the number 12 car of Kevin Berlo who is on the inside, but it's Lauren Heinrich who is dispatched into the gravel trap, and it's been investigated by the stewards, and they will have all the angles, riding on board with Rudy Van Buren, and you can see the 26 car beached there and going absolutely no further. So that was what it looked like from Rudy Van Buren, and very shortly that car will be dragged out, and no damage that is visible So he will no doubt retire back to the pits and be ready to go again when race 3 occurs later on this afternoon. We're looking at that start again, and you can see that Dylan Pereira doesn't make the best of getaways, but Jacob Bertinelli does, and it was Joey Mawson who went through the billboard there, the Montana billboard, sent it scattering, quite spectacular, and didn't do any damage, but there he is again looking back on it. It's quite impressive taking the top corner of it off and not the bottom corner. So yeah, bit of extra airtime for that particular company, and that is the great start from Jacob Bertinelli as he darts to the inside, and you can see Julian Hansis there also moving up close behind, and the unfortunate Lauren Heinrich as well. So there's the view from the front of the Dylan Pereira car, and you can see ahead how the rest of the field came sweeping through, and all that hard work in qualifying. And it's the view from Joey Mawson. He got 2 wheels onto the grass and just clipped the corner of that board and sent the bits flying. And the 2 wheels on the grass wouldn't have done him a lot of favours in terms of speed either. Not a lot of traction to be had out there. The view from Leon Kohler, who started on the front row. You can see Larry Tenforder. He darted across and shut the door instantly as soon as the red lights went off. And you can see just how close these cars are as they race together. This was the view again from Leon Kohler. And there's the 26 car being dragged away. And that will no doubt be able to go back to the pit lane under its own steam. The number 26 car of Lauren Heinrich for T3 HRT Motorsport, who of course are fairly local to here. They are based in Radebeul, which is just 90 kilometers away. And this very much classed as their home race. So that particular Porsche 911 GT3 car goes back to the pit lane, no doubt full of gravel, and it doesn't look as though there's been any damage of any sort. And I was just about to mention the waterfall, which is that straight that you're looking at there, 12.8% drop. And it really is quite steep and quite iconic for this track. And drivers taking a lot of speed into turn 13, which of course is at the bottom of the waterfall, and requiring earlier braking into that corner because of the extra speed they are taking. We're still behind the safety car, as you can see, another lap completed. And very shortly, we expect the safety car to come in. I'm expecting notification anytime soon that the safety car will be in, because the track looks as though it's clear now. And very soon we'll be able to go racing, although there still is a fair bit of gravel on the track. And shortly, it'll be Larry Tenforder who leads them across the line. The question is can Dylan Pereira do anything from P3? He did it from P2 yesterday and took his first ever win in the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. And he will be looking to do that again. Notification, safety car is in on this lap. So very soon we will be back to green flag racing. It's Larry Tenforder who leads the way from Leon Kohler, Dylan Pereira, Jago Bertinelli from K Van Berlo and Julian Hansis. Then Tony Wolff in P7 ahead of Joey Mawson, Rudy Van Buren, Lucas Ertel. And then in P11, our leading Pro-Am is Matthias Jeserik from Stefan Raykop. So Carlos Rivas clearly not having the best of starts to that race either. Jago Bertinelli is our leading rookie, and he is in P4. So there is the number 26 car, and I don't think he's allowed to rejoin the race. You can see he's out of the car now. And it looks like his morning is over in the Porsche Carrera Cup Series. You can see the safety car disappearing into the distance. Larry Tenforder is up to him when he goes. He's keeping heat in the tyres, and he's going to hit the loud pedal as soon as he's ready. The car's rounding turn 13, up a slight incline to turn 14. And it looks like Tenforder has hit the pedal and he is on his way. Around turn 14 we come, onto the pit straight. And we're back under green flag conditions. 19 minutes, just under 20 minutes left of this race. Race 2 for the Porsche Carrera Cup, Germany, and Tony Wolff ducking off to the inside, defending that line into turn 1. Joey Mawson on the outside, and having that inside line into turn 1 really is quite critical because there's not much traction to be had on the outside, and we've seen quite a lot of drivers trying to break the draft down the pit straight as well. Larry Tenforder leading the way, and very much aware of yesterday's race where the tyres went off, and unlikely to make that same mistake again today. They've adjusted the setup on the car overnight, and he's looking to extend his championship lead. So the number 33 car, Stefan Raykopf, he is running second in the Pro-Am category. And there's the number 8 car going wide, that's Georgi Dontev. And that allows another car through, and he drops down. I believe it was Carlos Rivas who got through. So very much single file at the moment. The first 3 breaking away a little bit, and our eyes are very much on Dylan Pereira to see whether he can do anything. He was the quickest man yesterday, and he's looking pretty racy today. First job is going to be to dispatch Leon Kohler. Further back, there is some jostling for position. It's Keivan Berlo, and he is coming under attack from Julian Hanses in the number 81 car. And on board with Joey Mawson for Factech Autotech. And you can see the view. These cars absolutely identical. The only differences between them are setup and wing angle and suspension setup, but very little else to separate them. And it means that catching and getting past another driver really does require some skill. Now we've got a 5-second time penalty, and it's for car number 77, Leon Kohler, who's currently running in second place. He's got a 5-second time penalty for moving in the grid box. So Leon Kohler, running in second place, has picked up a 5-second time penalty. That will almost certainly be applied at the end of the race, unless he needs to make a pit stop, which would ruin his afternoon anyway. So that's very significant for this race. So Dylan Pereira is currently a net second, although he has the obstacle of Leon Kohler in front of him on the track as there's challenging for position. And it's Joey Mawson and Rudy Van Buren going side by side. Rudy Van Buren is in front, Joey Mawson looking to the inside. And they come round to complete another lap. So Joey Mawson currently in 9th place, and challenging the 57 of Rudy Van Buren, who is in 8th place. And again, riding on board with Joey Mawson, could see his view of that number 57 car. So to remind you, it's Larry Tenforder who leads the way by 1 second. In second place, Leon Kohler, who has a 5-second penalty to be applied, as we were just riding on board there with Lucas Ertel, and staring at the back of the Joey Mawson car. And Lucas Ertel in 10th place at the moment. Another one for the T3 HRT Motorsport. And putting a lot of pressure on Joey Mawson as they head down towards turn 9 and up the hill. And this is a blind crest on this hill. You really need a bit of bravery to keep your foot on the pedal coming up here. Around turns 10 and 11, and then down the waterfall, taking an awful lot of speed into turn 13. Heavy braking into that corner, and then up another slight gradient up into turn 14 to complete another lap. It's Joey Mawson that we're focusing on at the moment. He's in P9. He's got Lucas Ertel just behind him in 10th, and there's our leader, Larry Tenforder. Leon Kohler behind. Dylan Pereira really wants to get past that Leon Kohler car, particularly as Kohler is carrying that 5-second penalty, and Pereira needs to get past, and of course he can't catch up with Larry Tenforder until he has dispatched Leon Kohler. So Pereira, you can see from your display, is the quicker of the two cars. Currently he is 0.256 behind, which is pretty well nothing, and Leon Kohler 1.2 seconds behind Larry Tenforder, which means it's about a second and a half back from our leader Larry Tenforder to Dylan Pereira, who's been very much the man on form here so far this weekend. It's race 2 for the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. We are just over half distance. We've already had one safety car for the number 26 car of Lauren Heinrich, who was stranded in the gravel trap after 3 cars got together. And our focus is on the podium positions of 2nd and 3rd. As we look across at Leon Kohler, you can see how hard he's having to work. These cars, not easy. Over half an hour, a lot of strenuous effort. And Dylan Pereira lining up Leon Kohler down the pit straight, trying to pick up a slipstream. Kohler's going to want to defend that inside line into the corner, but Dylan Pereira has seen a gap, and Kohler pretty well letting him through. So I'm wondering whether Leon Kohler, aware of the fact that he has that 5-second penalty, is allowing Dylan Pereira past to get on up the road and have a go at Larry Tenforder. So Dylan Pereira through into P2. What can he do about our leader? The gap was 1.8 seconds last time around. We'll keep an eye on that and see whether Dylan Pereira can do something similar to what he did last time out. You can see running down the pit straight on this replay, and Leon Kohler just leaving a very big gap on the inside. Doesn't put up any sort of fight at all. And Dylan Pereira is through into P2. So down the hill towards the Castro Omega turn, and you can see how far ahead Larry Tenforder was. So 1.845 seconds was the gap. We'll keep an eye on that as Stefan Raykopf and Felix Neuhofer and the number 28 car of Felix Neuhofer goes spinning, and Carlos Rivas goes through as well, and he's able to rejoin, doesn't make contact with the barrier. So high drama for the 28 car coming out of turn 14. Looks as though he'd lost it on his own, dueling with Stefan Raykopf, and it's Felix Neuhofer who is left pointing in the wrong direction. There's our leader, Larry Tenforder. Dylan Pereira behind has already pulled away a bit from Leon Kohler. 1.87 is the gap between 1st and 2nd. And more battles further down as Tony Wolff coming under intense pressure from Kay van Berlo and Rudy van Buren. And Kay van Berlo, one of the talent pool drivers for Porsche, and being trained and nurtured by Porsche. And he's in the number 12 car. So there's Tony Wolff, Kay van Berlo, and the 57 of Rudy van Buren. And Tony Wolff is in P6 at the moment. We're looking at the back of the Kay van Berlo car, and that is the view from Rudy van Buren. So the incident involving car 6 and 28 is under investigation. That was Carlos Rivas and Felix Neuhofer. So the stewards clearly believe that there was some kind of contact between them, as the number 12 car goes wide as he heads up towards turn 14 and picks up a bit of dirt, and that allows the 57 Rudy van Buren to close up even more, and it's also given Tony Wolff a little bit of breathing room just up ahead. So this is the closest battle on the track at the moment. Our leader is Larry Tenforder. The gap is down by 0.3. We've still got 11 minutes to go. And you can see Rudy van Buren getting a right little slider on out of the corner. A bit of drifting. You see the back end stepping out very easily, chucking all sorts of debris up into the windscreen of Rudy van Buren, and then up the hill and on to the pit straight. Here's our leader, Larry Tenforder. His lead was 1.875. Last time round it was down to 1.524. So Dylan Pereira is taking a little bit of ground out of Larry Tenforder. But is it going to be enough to catch him with just over 10 minutes of this race remaining? And again, there's contact. This time the number 12 goes spinning. Kay Van Baerlo into the gravel trap. And again, it looks like we're going to get a safety car because that car is stranded and is going no further. That was contact with Rudy Van Buren. And Kay Van Baerlo, another car spinning into the gravel trap. And the safety car once again is almost certainly going to be deployed. You can see it there, engine running. We haven't had notification yet, but surely that car is going to need to be retrieved. So with less than 10 minutes remaining, that is going to change the dynamic of this race. Still waiting for any notification from race control, and the safety car is deployed. So the number 12 car of Kay Van Baerlo, who was doing so very well, one of the talent pool drivers, and a rookie in the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany, beached in the gravel trap. So if they can get this car moved quickly, this is going to make for an interesting resumption, because Dylan Pereira will of course be closed up onto the back bumper, a Larry 10 Forder. So that gap, which was 1.6 seconds when the safety car came out, will have been reduced to nothing. But Larry 10 Forder will have saved his tyres. You can see again, there was a gap on the inside, and Rudy Van Buren did go for it, and it looked like Kay Van Baerlo tried to shut the door on him, and contact between the two, and the number 12 car is sent spinning. You can see on board with Rudy Van Buren, and that gap was closing going into the corner. So the stewards will look at that and will make a decision to decide whether Rudy Van Buren should have backed off or whether he had the line into the corner, and that was the view from Joey Mawson. And of course he just goes sailing through, very happy with that, as he moves up into 8th place as a result of that incident. So the clock is still ticking. We are behind the safety car. The number 12 car of Kay Van Baerlo is being removed. And that incident, understandably, with Rudy Van Buren under investigation. And we expect them to move that car before too long. And very shortly, we will be back to green flag conditions. So hopefully there will be 5 minutes or so of green flag racing. And we should see quite a battle for the lead, because Dylan Pereira has closed back in on Larry 10 Forder, and Leon Kohler has closed in on Dylan Pereira, and Jago Bertinelli is also there, as we see Kay Van Baerlo disconsolately walking back to the garage. So that car's not going to get driven back, it's going to have to be towed back. And it did look like there was a bit of damage. We did see some debris falling off the car as it came to a halt in the gravel trap. No doubt that will be repaired and brought back out for race 3 later on this afternoon. We're watching the clock tick down at the top of the screen, and we see the cars come filing through. Will only be a minute or so before that number 12 car has been removed. And then we will be ready to go back racing again. So, good to see an audience here. Somebody's gone to sleep at the end chair. Don't fall off your chair. Oh, it's all going to go terribly wrong very shortly. Great to see some spectators in. And this is something that we didn't know was going to happen until fairly recently. We've got 6,000 spectators a day being permitted by the local authority, which is excellent news. Given the global situation, to have spectators in at a motor racing circuit is wonderful, adds a lot of atmosphere, and really nice for the spectators to be able to witness some motor racing firsthand. We look again at that incident that saw the number 12 car going spinning, and it was Rudy Van Buren who had the gap on the inside, and Baerlo does try to close that gap off. The question is, how far up the driver's door did Rudy Van Buren need to be to have right of way there? And that's something that the stewards will look at. Okay, safety car is in this lap. So with a little over 5 minutes remaining of this race. We are going to have a bit of a shootout to the end. Larry Tenvoorde is going to be feeling the pressure of Dylan Pereira. The question is, who has looked after their car the best? Who has the best tyres? And who can get this one home in first place? Safety car disappearing into the distance. This is going to be really fascinating. Larry Tenvoorde keeping the heat in his tyres, but also trying to lull Dylan Pereira into a false sense of security so that he will disappear into the distance and leave Pereira napping. Here he goes. Forda has hit the accelerator and Pereira has anticipated it very well. Out of turn 14, onto the pit straight they come. Can Dylan Pereira do anything about Larry Tenvoorde's lead? Leon Kohler still weaving slightly to get some heat into the tyres going into turn 1. Kohler looks to the inside. Jago Bertinelli in P4. It's Larry Tenvoorde who leads the way. Then Dylan Pereira. The rest of the field comes streaming through. Our leading Pro-Am driver is Matthias Jeserik. He's down in P10. And our leading rookie is Jago Bertinelli. Very impressive indeed on his debut in the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany this year. So these cars very close together, but Larry Tenvoorde just breaking away a little, as is Dylan Pereira. Leon Kohler looking like he's struggling to live with the front two. So can Dylan Pereira do anything about that lead that Larry Tenvoorde has? We're coming round to complete the first lap. It's quite a short lap here at the Sachenring. They go under the bridge and up towards the waterfall. There's the number 28 car of Felix Neuhofer that we saw going spinning earlier. And there's Carlos Rivas and Stefan Raykopf. And this is for second place in the Pro-Am category. And we're riding on board with Lucas Ertel, looking at a bit of contact with Joey Mawson. And a little tap there, he backs out of it, doesn't gain a place. And Carlos Rivas on the way through on the inside as Stefan Raykopf. And this is significant for the Pro-Am Championship. Carlos Rivas leading the championship coming into this race, but ahead of him, Matthias Jeserik is leading the Pro-Am category. Again, Raykopf coming back at Carlos Rivas. These two old veterans of Porsche Carrera Cup Germany having quite a ding-dong towards the back of the field. And here comes Felix Neuhofer on the inside of Georgi Donchev. So battles raging from the front to the back of this, and this is at the back, but still points to be had in each of the categories as the number 28 car of Felix Neuhofer comes through, the young rookie, through to pick up another position. Looking at a replay there, and that looks like Carlos Rivas. And see the number 8 car smoking the brakes of Georgi Donchev going into the corner. Ahead of them is Carlos Rivas on the inside of Stefan Raykopf, and that looked quite easy going into turn 14 and up towards the pit straight. And there was Felix Neuhofer coming through as well. We've got less than 2 minutes left. The gap between first and second is 0.8 of a second. So Dylan Pereira seemingly not having anything that he can take to Larry Tenvoorde in these closing stages. As we continue to look at Stefan Raykopf and Felix Neuhofer, who is moving forwards after that unfortunate spin. Here are our leaders. The first three having broken away. Jago Bertinelli coming under increasing pressure in fourth place from Julian Hanses. And that is for the front-running rookie position. So this will be first place in terms of the rookie championship. And Jago Bertinelli has that at the moment. He's running in fourth place overall in this race. There's Bertinelli in the number 9 car. Behind him, Julian Hanses in the number 81 car that looks identical to Dylan Pereira's. And of course, both of them running for Fork Racing. We're in to the final minute of this race. And it's Larry Tenvoorde who's leading the way. He's opened up the gap to 1.4 seconds. So Dylan Pereira has got nothing that he can bring to Larry Tenvoorde. So he is just wishing on any kind of mechanical issue or anything else that he can think of to get that lead. A drive-through penalty for car 57 which has been replaced with a 30-second penalty. So that would have been for that incident we saw earlier, Rudy van Buren, who's currently lying in 7th place. So the stewards have obviously decided that he was responsible for the K van Berlo incident, and this is the incident that we're talking about. So they have decided that he was responsible for turning that car around. He's picked up a 30-second time penalty. It would have been a drive-through penalty had we not been in the closing stages of this race. So a 30-second time penalty will drop the number 57 car of Rudy van Buren right down as we look at Christoph Huber looking on, and he is seeing his driver leading the way. And of course his driver is Larry Tenforder, well ahead now, 1.227 seconds ahead. We're on to the +1 lap of this race. Larry Tenforder from Dylan Pereira, Leon Kohler relatively on his own now. Diego Bertinelli still full of Julian Hanses in his rear-view mirrors, and then a gap back to Tony Wolff and Rudy van Buren, who is carrying that 30-second time penalty, which will put him pretty well to the back of the field once this race has run. So Diego Bertinelli and Julian Hanses enjoying a race-long battle for first place in the Rookie Championship. And Bertinelli looks to have a handle on this as we see them come round turn 14, and the 81 car not really close enough to do anything about it. Meanwhile, at the front, it's Larry Tenforder who starts his final lap. Dylan Pereira really is out of ideas. Gonna have to settle for second place in this. Leon Kohler looking fairly safe in P3 as well. And around and down towards the Castrol Omega turn we come for one last time. That's turn 4, and this is it here. And then up the hill towards turn 5. And this is turn 5, and up the hill into turn 6, which is another blind summit. And then it's all the way down again. Turn 7 and 8, and a little short shoot of track towards turn 9 under the bridge, as we rode on board there with Larry Tenforder. And now looking from Dylan Pereira's perspective, we're up to turns 10 and 11, and it'll be down the waterfall for one last time. Down we go, 12.8% drop in towards turn 13, under braking, heavy braking into that corner. And a challenge again further back. It's Diego Bertinelli with Julian Hanses just showing himself at the side, but surely Bertinelli is going to hold him off as they head towards turn 14. This is quite a battle. The leader has crossed the line to take the win. It's Larry Tenforder from Dylan Pereira and then Leon Kohler. And this is the battle. Diego Bertinelli just holding off Julian Hanses. A real last lap attempt to take away that P4 from Diego Bertinelli. But the winner is Larry Tenforder, his ever vocal fan club up on the hill. Very pleased to be here in person. Larry Tenforder, a very popular young driver. He won at Le Mans last time out. He's leading the championship. He won the Porsche Mobile 1 Super Cup Championship earlier this year, and he's now looking to stamp his authority on the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany, and he's going about it in just the right way. This steamroller continues. It's Larry Tenforder who wins race 2 for Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. So lots of congratulations in the pits. The team of Nebulous Racing by Hubert, very happy with that, understandably. Their other driver was K van Berlo, so not so happy about that part. And also with Stefan Raykopf in the number 33 car, and he was 3rd in the Pro-Am category, finishing 12th across the line. There's a replay of the team reaching out and congratulating Larry Tenforder, and you can see Dylan Pereira in 2nd place and Leon Kohler just behind. And that was that great battle behind Julian Hanses with a last lap challenge on Diego Bertinelli, and Bertinelli holding him off to take P3. And of course, we said that Leon Kohler crossed the line in third, but if you remember, he has got that 5-second time penalty for moving in the pit box, so he is now dropped down to P7 after that penalty has been applied. So inheriting third place is Diego Bertinelli. So the battle that we did see was in fact for the last place on the podium as well as the leading rookie. So Leon Kohler down in P7 as a result of that 5-second time penalty, and 5 seconds seems so little, but it's massive, particularly when there's been a safety car in the closing stages of the race and everybody's bunched up. Leon Kohler would have been much happier if we hadn't had a safety car. That 5-second penalty would have dropped him a lot less. But those are the rules of racing, and moving in the pit box is a definite no-no. It's Larry ten Voorde who wins. Leon Kohler has parked up in the P3 parking spot, but he will shortly be told that it's Diego Bertinelli who should be in that spot. And there's Dylan Pereira. Good solid drive into P2. Couldn't quite match his first ever win that he picked up yesterday in the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. And there is your official classification. Is Larry ten Voorde from Dylan Pereira, Diego Bertinelli, who inherits P3 ahead of Julian Hanses, Tony Wolff, Joey Mawson, and Leon Kohler relegated to P7 ahead of Lucas Oertel. Matthias Jeserik and Carlos Rivas are in 9th and 10th. Then Felix Neuhofer, Stefan Rakoff, Georgi Donchev, Rudy van Buren, Kay van Berlo, and Lauren Heinrich. Those last two, Kay van Berlo and Lauren Heinrich, were non-finishers courtesy of those trips into the gravel trap. Our highest rookie is Diego Bertinelli ahead of Julian Hanses, and our highest Pro-Am driver was Matthias Jeserik, who crossed the line in 9th place. There's Diego Bertinelli, 3rd place for FAC Autotech Racing. He will be delighted with that. 2nd place, Dylan Pereira for Fork Racing. And our winner for Nebulous Racing by Hubert. It's that man again from the Netherlands, Larry ten Voorde, taking the win for race 2 for the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany here at the Sachenring. So very shortly we will be moving to the podium ceremony. And there's Larry ten Voorde. And Leon Kohler has clearly now been informed of his relegation. And the car has been removed. And there he goes back into the Parc Fermé, and he will be thoroughly disgruntled about that. Moving in the pit box, I'm guessing could be classed as a jump start in the grand scale of things. And it's a lesson learned there. Leon Kohler won't be adding to his 3rd place that he picked up yesterday. And instead it's Diego Bertinelli, who finished 4th yesterday, crossed the line 4th today, but gets 3rd place and the bottom step of the podium. We're at the Sachsenring. Beautiful, beautiful setting here in Hohenstein-Ernstthal. We're just near Chemnitz in Saxony. You can see the wind turbines in the distance, and it is a beautiful autumnal Sunday morning. So as the drivers make their way up towards the podium, and hopefully very soon we can bring you the podium ceremony. Diego Bertinelli for FAC Autotech. And a busy weekend here at the Sachsenring. Also GT Masters, of course, and TCR Germany and GT4 Germany racing here, entertaining this crowd. And how good is it to see people back at a circuit? I think it's the most people I've seen at a motor racing circuit this year. At one point, we wondered whether we were going to see any spectators at all. And in fact, back in May, we wondered if we were going to see any racing at all this year. And all credit to the organising body, who have put together a compressed season, but with still the same number of races. We're looking at a replay of the start, and you can see the number 77 car there. Let's see if we can see where he moves. You see a bit of smoke coming from the car. So this is a replay of the very beginning of the race, and the brakes were clearly very hot. Ah, that was it. You can see he moved and stopped again. Classed as a jump start, and even though he didn't appear to gain any advantage from it, that is absolute no-brainer in terms of penalty. And this was the view again, and the T3 HRT Motorsport team not enjoying their home race as much as they would have liked. You can hear him revving it. You can see the smoke coming off the brakes as he's stationary on the grid. They're waiting for those lights. Giving it the loud pedal. It goes not so obvious there. But as you saw from the outside, there was a definite start and a stop. And that has robbed him of the third step of the podium. As we look on again at Christophe Hubert, a very well-known figure in Porsche Carrera Cup racing, and very welcome here in the pit lane at the Sachenring under these blue skies. We're looking up to the podium, and here's Diego Bertinelli picking up his first podium in Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. The young talent pool driver from Italy for Fach Autotech. Second place to go with his win from yesterday. He'll be pretty happy with that. Dylan Pereira for Fork Racing. And the winner, Larry Tenforder. So that's the national anthem done. And applause from Nebulous Racing by Huber team. Some great trophies that have been presented here. Diego Bertinelli. He will be delighted with that. Bertinelli had a 5th place at Le Mans, which was great. Very impressive indeed. 4th place at the first race here. 3rd place in this race. So can he make it a 2nd tomorrow? Definitely a star to watch as he comes through the ranks. And Larry Tenforder just showing his appreciation as he holds his trophy aloft. And there you can see the championship. It's a 16-point lead that Larry Tenforder has over Dylan Pereira. And that is extended. Leo Kohler, that penalty, dropping him 25 points behind. And Diego Bertinelli moving into 4th place in the championship. He was 5th coming in, so he's closed that gap in. So a great race. Race 2 for Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. We're going to do it all again later on. How good is that? So why don't you join us a little later on this afternoon. Race 3 here at the Sachsenring. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
espresso